Let's talk about vision and how you are seen by the enemy team. Also, how to not get your butt whooped by the Punisher. MOBAs evolved from real-time strategy games, in particular Warcraft 3, which featured a fog of war mechanic. Each unit has a sight range, and as the player, you see the combined sight of all your units and the buildings you control. If you have an allied player, their sight is shared with you as well. Terrain, like rocks and trees, are dynamic and block your sight. However, buildings do not block sight. A bit of an oddity, but you can imagine the defender's advantage you would have firing over a building that only you could see through. In Heroes of the Storm, you are allied with your team as well as your buildings and units. You see what they see, but there have been several new additions since the Warcraft 3 days. Capturing a Watchtower provides vision to your allies in an area. This is a static vision source, often in a strategic but uncontested area. The real benefit provided by taking a Watchtower is not the immediate sight in the area, but the map control it gives. If you see an enemy hero in Watchtower range, you know they can't participate in another area of the map, giving you board control. Bushes block sight, but can be seen through from the inside. If an enemy minion starts attacking you, you can quickly jump into a bush and make them forget you're there. Enemy players may not be as forgetful, but jumping into a bush provides you with some wiggle room for your escape. This handy visual icon lets you know if you are in a hidden state, or if you're being revealed by an enemy player. There are a number of spells, like Clairvoyance and Scouting Drone, that provide sight over terrain and into bushes. However, all spells, being allied projectiles, provide momentary sight in their path. Using a low cooldown ability to quickly check a bush before entering it is always a smart move. Likewise, a hero who successfully hits an attack from inside a bush will give away their position to the enemy player. If you decide to walk straight into a bush without using a ranged spell, or poke, it is known as a face check. For a meaty tank character, face checking may be a valid strategy. You might want to save your valuable crowd control abilities for the fight to come, so you simply plant your face into the bush to see if someone's there. In most cases, your kit will feature a non-essential damage ability that you can expend instead. If you arrive early to an uncontested objective, you may feel compelled to become the team's sweet lookout and sit for an extended stay in a local bush. Even though you are off-site, you are still in an exposed position. You might also be denying your allies other contributions that better fit your role. One of the many jobs of a tank is to anchor, position to help maintain the group's overall position relative to their role. As tank, you may be tempted to anchor from inside a bush. Realize the enemy cannot see you, and will mentally select non-tank targets from those they can see. Reveal yourself early to make sure that the onset damage goes into your large tank health pool. Just like in Warcraft 3, most buildings do not block sight. A character's vision is not reduced by being on the other side of a fort, keep, tower, or the core itself. Gates, however, do block sight. Just like the bush, a defending player will be revealed if they successfully attack or are hit by an enemy ability. If you hit an AI-controlled unit that is allied with the enemy players, that AI will share their knowledge of your location across the enemy team. Nowhere in this game is this interaction more important than on Infernal Shrines with an enemy Punisher. Whenever a team summons the Punisher after winning the Infernal Shrines event, the Punisher becomes an allied AI-controlled unit. This objective reward focuses on PvP brawling. After 5 seconds, the Punisher is ready to leap the closest visible enemy hero, performing an AoE stun lasting 1 second. It also receives an attack and movement speed buff until it calms down. Once calm, the Punisher will continue to focus buildings for about 11 seconds before it is ready to leap again. While the Punisher is tall, it cannot see over gates or terrain. As we've discussed, attacking a unit allied with the Punisher will cause the Punisher to gain momentary sight of the hero over a wall. Allies of the Punisher can also use their abilities to give sight over obstacles and reveal the enemy players. Since the Punisher is PvP focused, his leap and his area abilities make him extremely dangerous to deal with while fighting the enemy team. Position the Punisher so he is isolated away from the enemy. Depending on the current game state, you might choose to position him off to the side, making sure that when he exits his rage, he doesn't target your fountain. You might keep him in range of as many towers as possible for a quick burn down. This vision tactic with the Punisher has become a tradition in Heroes of the Storm. If you are ever nervous about performing this duty for your team, stand back and let someone else make the pull. Also, don't face check.